go in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 28 of Teddybears and Tentacles podcast. My name is Quinn, and we have with us today Skinny Rick.
Yep.
Why is the mic in front of your face, dude?
I don't know, dude.
Dude, Skinny Rick, he's always got something going on over there. Got the Taco Bell hat today, Taco Bell visor.
Yeah.
Looking like you walked straight out of 2001.
Yep.
So
I wasn't even alive then.
I know, dude.
Think about that.
Yeah. So how do you know how to dress like that?
I don't know. What if it was like, you know how people are always like, I was born in the wrong time era. I should have been born like...
I'm an old soul.
I should have been born like during World War II or some bullcrap. It's like, I should have been born a year earlier.
Yeah. This is the best one is whenever people are like, I should have been born in the 60s or 70s. It's like, why, dude? So you could go and do drugs and do sex and stuff. Like, that's the most common one
Just
that I always hear.
Now,
you should have been
guess.
born in the hippie movement. It's like, yeah, okay. We're turning on the TV here.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
You're
What are we
doing it wrong.
Yeah,
Hit the home
hitting
button.
the wrong button. Yeah. Noobing it up, dude.
HDMI 1.
Yeah. So,
I think it's...
Yeah.
I don't think it's muted.
did anything cool happen for you this week or no?
Not really.
Not really. Me either, dude. We just been working a bunch. We're getting
Just working.
we've got another studio that we're working on, so we're working on that.
I'm exceptionally tired today.
Yeah. We're both pretty tired, honestly. But I guess we can jump right into it, dude. We got a good little chunk of stuff that I wanted to cover today, and it's getting pretty rough out there, dude. It's been raining where we're at for about a day and a half.
24 hours.
Hardcore raining. We got the coronavirus out there.
When we say raining, we don't mean like, oh, it rained a little bit, stopped, rained some more.
Yeah.
We mean like it has consistently. Water has been
Pouring.
falling out of the sky.
For a minute.
Dude, we better check some of the lakes. We might.
Dude, I think
we
some
might have run out of
schools
some of the
closed
water.
today. I think some of the schools were closed
Really?
today. Yeah,
I know that
because
we
of
were
the-
under a tornado watch like all day yesterday.
We were. You saw the stuff that the Tennessee.
Tennessee got blasted 2 days ago.
Yeah, by some tornadoes. Shout out to Tennessee, man. That's
I've
sad,
never-
dude. Right before I moved to Birmingham, a bunch of them had hit
When they
over
leveled
there.
all those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was rough, man. It was like right before I moved over there.
I got a free copy of Call of Duty Black Ops though, so that was cool.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
In an Xbox. I got it. Well, I got an Xbox too. I didn't have an Xbox.
You found an Xbox and a copy
with Black Ops in it.
from the tornadoes?
Yeah.
It worked?
Yeah.
Wow.
I soaked that thing in some rice and all that.
Soaked it in rice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I just set it out next to a dehumidifier before I powered it on for like a day.
It's cool, man. So Skinny Rick, some little kid, got his house blown
Destroyed,
away,
and I took his Xbox.
bro.
You know?
That's messed up.
Well, they were gonna throw it away. It was like in the middle. It was like the bulldozer was like
Yeah.
pushing all the stuff into the trash, and I was like,
Nice. Well, speaking of little kids, dude, our first thing that we're going to get into today, I saw this morning. It is there was an 8-year-old Canadian boy who was at a youth hockey tournament and entered some type of raffle there, and he got one of like the smaller prizes that they gave out, and he got $200 worth of cannabis products in this raffle. So
I didn't know that was a thing in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I think the government controls has like the growing and stuff like that there, but so a grandfather in Canada says he was outraged after finding out that his 8-year-old grandson had won a raffle at a youth hockey tournament about $200 worth of marijuana products. Keith Riedel of British Columbia told Toronto's CTV News that his grandson, who plays in a youth hockey league, had entered raffle tickets to win a prize. Each team is usually responsible for putting together a gift basket or prize package together with a minimum value of $50.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Riddle told the station. And then what they do is they have a big setup They have a paper bag taped in front of each of these prizes. The prizes, Rattle said, usually geared towards children. His grandson had put ticket into a particular bag. His father was later notified that he had won $200 worth of pot. So
how much pot is that?
My grandson thought he had won a great prize. Dad, I won chocolate. No, son, there's bad drugs in the chocolate.
I don't know, dude. I mean, if I won $200 of cannabis products, I'd probably just sell them, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. It is pretty crazy.
Well, I guess, because it's legal there, so it's not the same.
Yeah.
But I'd probably just...
But honestly, bro, like...
get some money.
Yeah.
Or maybe the chocolate's really good. You don't know.
But that's... Okay. It's a... Like, it is a entirely... it would be an entirely, like, normal thing these days for... You know, you do, like... whatever Christmas thing, Secret Santa, or what's the elephant one? White elephant, where you take people's presents. People always bring like bottles of whiskey and all that kind of stuff to that stuff. I'm sure that if you live in a recreationally legal state, they probably do that crap, you know? So it's not like, I wouldn't think that
half a gummy bear. You said $5.
I wouldn't think that it's that like crazy for this to be in this raffle thing.
Sure.
I mean, for sure, like they definitely shouldn't have it at like a kid's thing or whatever. But I mean, I get it, dude. We used to have, listen, the Catholic church fairs whenever I was growing up, dude, biggest public parties, like period at the time, you know.
Sure.
Back then, they'd have like all these games and stuff. They had this money wheel, dude. So it would have like, it was like a Wheel of Fortune wheel that you would spin, and it would have like dollar bills, a bunch of dollar bills on it. Then like $2 bills, $5 bills, 10s, 20, you know, like all that stuff. And then what you would do is you would put whatever money down, you would spin the thing, and then if it landed on it, you would get that back. So if you put a $1 bill on the $5 thing and it hit $5, you would get five $1 bills. If you put a $5 bill on it, you get five $5 bills back. If you put 100 on it, you get $500 bills. So you could do it with on the ones, because it would, you know, it would roll to 1 80% of the time. So if you put $100 on the one, you know, you get $100. It was crazy. But they would have like beer trucks, all kind of food and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, they would have like all these little raffles and like stuff you could like auction and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just don't think it's that like, I don't think it's that far out there. It is crazy that this kid ended up with it though. So
got some of that devil's lettuce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought that was funny.
Dude, pot looks so weird.
You think?
Yeah.
How does it look weird?
I want you to tell me anything else.
This was like a dehydrated thing.
Anything else in the world that you would look at that looks like that you'd be like, man, I want that.
I mean, I guess nothing, you know, but I've also, you know, consumed a ton of pot, so I don't look at it that way. I'm one of the people who thinks like I'll take some of that, you know.
It just like it looks nasty.
Yeah, it looks weird. So,
it looks like, dude, it looks like some sort of, I'll tell you what it looks like. If I saw like a zombie crawling up out of a swamp, it looks like he might have some of this growing on him.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe. I guess, dude. I guess. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. And then today also is the 20-year, not the day that you're watching this, but the day that we're recording this is the 20-year anniversary of the PlayStation 2. Yep. So it's pretty crazy to think about. I can remember being a kid whenever the PlayStation 1 came out. I got it for Christmas, and I was stoked, dude. I'd only played like one, I think, before. Maybe two of them. But my uncle had one, or maybe he got his after us. I don't know. One of my neighbors had it for sure, and I was playing Crash Bandicoot at his house, and I really wanted one of those things, dude. So I ended up getting one for Christmas. I was a little kid. And then, you know, whenever the PlayStation 2 came out, I went the Xbox route. But I did also have PlayStation 2 at some point. We got big into Guitar Hero. And
heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, we played
I still
that
play
on
Guitar
PlayStation
Hero.
2. So shout out to PlayStation, dude.
I have Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah.
And
That was the best one,
I
dude.
have the original guitar, the white one with the cord and everything.
Yeah. Those are the best ones too. The best guitars out of all of them. The wireless ones all end up breaking. All like the third party ones all suck. The OG ones, dude, that's the best ones you can get. The best Guitar Hero guitars. Dude. So yeah, shout out to PlayStation 2. 20 years is crazy to think that it's been that long. So yeah.
The only thing I remember with the PlayStation 2 was when I was like real little, like 3 or 4. My parents were youth pastors, and they used to go to this thing. I don't remember what it was, like once every so often. And I would hang out in the back room, and they had a PlayStation 2 in there, and they had Shrek, the video game.
Shrek, the video game?
Heck yeah, dude.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, bro.
And that's my PlayStation 2 experience.
Yeah.
Is Shrek.
It had some. I guess it was the slim one that had some flaws in it. So the slim one went back to where you had to it had like the flip open tray instead of like a CD drive.
Yeah.
And it's a piece of garbage, dude. That's actually what I had. I think I had one of the slim ones. And I want to say that my mom got one for Christmas not that long ago. A PlayStation 2 with Guitar Hero and stuff. I guess my dad found it on eBay or something. Yeah. So there's that.
What difficulty do you play on?
What, Guitar Hero? I used to play hardcore or whatever it's called. Is it extreme or hardcore?
I don't remember.
Expert.
Yeah, it's because I think it goes easy, medium, hard, expert.
Yeah.
I never made it to expert.
Yeah.
Hard, I got stopped at hard.
We could play all of it on expert, dude. There was maybe a few songs, like some of the bonus songs we couldn't do on expert, but we could get through all of them. Yeah. We played the crap out of that game. Yeah. So yeah.
I could never get my pinky to switch because
in
hard you have all the buttons as well, but in expert it goes faster, and trying to teach my pinky to hit the orange and the blue was
that was kind of difficult. The craziest
and sometimes you had to do them at the same time, so you had to slide 2 fingers over.
The craziest thing was seeing people that were really good at Guitar Hero saying like, dude, I could totally play guitar. Like, it would be so easy for me to play guitar. Look how good I am at this game.
No, dude.
No way, dude.
People who play guitar can't even play Guitar Hero. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not even the same thing. It's literally it's a layout of a controller, a PlayStation controller. That's all it is. Yeah. So let's go to the next thing. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die, has been postponed over coronavirus fears, and we're not gonna go deep into coronavirus stuff. We did that last time.
How European is this freaking jacket he's wearing,
dude? Yeah, it's a pretty European jacket. We'll put this picture in the thing. Let's see his pants, dude.
No, you can't.
He's got a.
It looks like he's just got pants on. It looks like they're sagging a little.
Yeah. What about the dude? How Daniel Craig James Bond is that picture though? Go back up.
Wait, this is something different now.
Yeah.
He's got some like motor oil on his face and some like blood.
Yeah. That's it, dude. He's actually probably. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's probably my favorite James Bond. He does a good James Bond. For sure.
Definitely.
And then with that little gun, dude, he's always got that thing.
That little tiny.
Yeah.
That small boy.
Dude, that he's shooting somebody with that thing. This is one of the last shots in the whole. This is either the first frame of the whole movie or the last frame of the whole movie. Yeah. So I want to say also on top of that, E3 has either postponed or is talking about being postponed. They had some MMA stuff that ended up being closed events. I think we've been talking about. One of the airlines has like excessively limited travel, and so on top of that stuff, the stock market did dip a little bit. Part of it due to the coronavirus thing, part of it also because
it dipped pretty bad.
Yeah. But part of it also was before Super Tuesday and the DNC just hit.
Wait.
Before the DNC primary and Super Tuesday, Bernie Sanders was kind of projected to be the Democratic candidate, and Joe Biden basically got more votes in those polls, and at this point is ahead of Bernie for it, which is crazy to think about. But these big business guys, man, they really are not into Bernie, and so after the Super Tuesday thing, the stock market actually raised, I think, like 3 to 4% in some cases after Joe Biden started leading this thing, which is
that's funny
just
because
so bizarre, dude. We're talking about not even the presidential election. We're talking about the Democratic candidate nomination is like the fact that it's affected the stock market at all is just bizarre, dude. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
It's crazy.
It shouldn't be affecting any of this stuff, man, but it does, and it is what it is, man.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's definitely not what it isn't.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then today, whenever, every day I just kind of look around and see what's going on and just in the world. And so I found this article, and I figured that this would be a good thing for us to just kind of talk about for a little bit today, because I think that it has some relevancy, especially in the development of stuff like our space program and stuff like that. So this is what we have here. This is titled Nazi Name List in Argentina May Reveal Loot in Swiss Bank. So what we're going to be talking about today, if you don't know about this stuff, is Operation Paperclip and everything that kind of surrounds that. And so what Operation Paperclip was basically after World War II, you had the higher profile Nazi scientists and officers and families and stuff like that. Some of them surrendered and were given basically new identifications and sent to various countries like South America, North America, the US, Russia, China. And so, some of those people ended up in kind of high rank positions in technology and stuff like that. But basically there is, what this article is talking about is a list of these Nazis that moved to Argentina. There was actually a good bit of them, and they basically found some documentation saying that they may have had still money in a Swiss bank somewhere. Let's read it. Files discovered in Argentina reveal the names of 12,000 Nazis who lived there in the 1930s, and many had Swiss bank accounts, researchers say. The U.S.-based Simon Wiesenthal Center, famous for tracking down Nazis, has asked to identify the dormant bank accounts. We believe that these long dormant accounts hold monies looted from Jewish victims, the center says. The papers were found in a storeroom at the former Nazi HQ in Buenos Aires. Nazi Germany began seizing Jewish property after enacting racist laws in 1935, and a colossal amount was stolen during the Holocaust in the 1940s. Much of that wealth was transferred to the secret Swiss bank accounts. In a letter to credit whatever, Vice President Christian Kung, the Simon Wiesenthal Center says, "We are aware that you already have claimants as alleged heirs of the Nazis in the list." So, basically there were somewhere between, I want to say like 12 and 15,000 Nazis that immigrated to Argentina during this time. And so, that was only during the 1940s. And so you can imagine that their children and grandchildren are, not that those people represent, Nazis at all. I'm just saying, there's a lot of these families, kids and grandkids and stuff like that. There's probably, much more than 12 to 15,000 of that bloodline out there, those bloodlines out there.
Imagine being a hitman around the time that World War II ended.
Yeah.
Just being like, yo, this guy's a Nazi. We need him. Think about the guys that are like, it's like, hey, the war is over, but we've got like pockets of like Nazis that are still trying to operate, you get sent in.
Yeah. I don't know how many of them at that point were actually trying to operate or accomplish anything. I think that most of them were just trying to
get out,
resettle, and not get killed in the process. But
well, a lot of them got killed.
Yeah, a lot of them did.
A lot of them got hanged, right?
Yeah, a lot of them did. I mean, and I want to say still to this day, they could put them on trial and all that kind of stuff, which is one of the things that we were going to kind of talk about. So we'll just read a little bit deeper into the history of Operation Paperclip. Go ahead to the next tab. And so this is on the CIA website. So,
dude, how about that? How about the fact that people use the term Nazi to describe normal people when there's still Nazis alive?
Yeah.
Like there are still actual Nazis chilling.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you Nazi.
Yeah. You're going to call like somebody who, like takes your parking spot or something like that. I mean, honestly, so anyway, as World War II ended, the race was on with the Soviet Union to seize as many German scientists as possible in anticipation of the Cold War. The full story has remained elusive until now. Operation Paperclip by Annie Jacobsen provides perhaps the most comprehensive, up-to-date narrative available to the general public. So yeah, let's see. So Henry Wallace, former vice president and secretary of commerce, believed the scientists' ideas could launch new civilian industries and produce jobs. Indeed, German scientists developed synthetic rubber using automobile tires, non-running hosiery, the ear thermometer, electromagnetic as a drunk tape, and miniaturized electrical components, to name a few. And so this is really the big one here, which, for a while now, my phone background has been JFK and Wernher von Braun, who, if you don't know, basically founded NASA and led the Apollo mission. Remember the Apollo moon landing during the Ford administration? Yeah.
Didn't he develop the V2 rocket or something? Yeah.
During the Ford administration, von Braun was almost awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom until one of Ford's senior advisors, David Gergen, objected to his Nazi past. Less well known is that another 120 fellow German scientists, engineers, and technicians developed the Saturn V launch vehicle, or that the Launch Operations Center at Cape Canaveral, Florida, was headed by Kurt Debus, the ardent Nazi. The vertical assembly building, bigger in volume than the Pentagon and almost as tall as the Washington Monument, was designed by Bernard Tessman, former facilities designer at the German missile launch facility in Peenemünde. So keep going down a little bit. We'll read a little bit more. These are other prominent Nazis hired during the Operation Paperclip included. So isn't this just totally bizarre that like they just have this information on their website? You know what I mean? Like we're on the CIA website. Dr. Huberta Strughold, who played an important role in space medicine by developing spacesuits and other life support systems in June 1948, he put a rhesus monkey named Albert in the pressurized nose cone of a V-2 rocket. Pressurized nose cone, the first step effort to send humans to space. General Reinhard Gehlen, former head of Nazi intelligence operations against the Soviets, was hired by the U.S. Army and later by the CIA to operate 600 ex-Nazi agents into the Soviet zone of occupied Germany. In 1948, CIA Director Roscoe something assumed control. Dude, so basically we got the director of the Nazi CIA. And then German biologist Dr. Kurt Blom was hired to develop offensive and defensive capabilities to counter Soviet biological warfare activity. So a lot of these Nazi scientists and generals and stuff like that were taken from their government, basically put into positions in our government, honestly. So here's one of my favorite things. We'll read through this paragraph and then we'll get off of this particular page and talk about some other stuff. In 1949, the CIA created the Office of Scientific Intelligence. Its first director, Dr. Willard Mackey, traveled to Germany to set up a special program to interrogate Soviet spies. The CIA believed Russians had developed mind control programs and wanted to know how U.S. spies would hold up against the capability if caught. He also aimed to explore the feasibility of creating a Manchurian candidate, through behavioral modification. Thus, Operation Bluebird was born. Bluebird, later called MK Ultra, was a research activity experimenting in behavioral engineering of humans. The Nuremberg Code prohibits experimentation with humans without their consent. During this program, Dr. Frank Olson was basically spiked with LSD and jumped out of a window. So, yeah. Just a lot of U.S. history in the 50s, 60s, and 70s were, just a lot of it was written and led by these Operation Paperclips Nazis.
How funny is it that the CIA can just say crap like that? I jumped. And everyone's like, oh, yeah.
They can do whatever they want.
Like, literally, it's just like you watch them kick the guy out of the window and just, oh, he jumped. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we got all of that stuff. So, what do you think so far about this? I mean, it seems to me like, I don't know. It seems to me like this was prime time for intelligence and all this trickery. Like we had kind of just hit a technological point that,
I mean, we've talked about it before, some on the podcast and off the podcast, but I think it's just weird that we were so like, you're smart, come with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They become responsible for,
but like just the scientists,
program,
not like all the officers and stuff. Like,
well, that's what
like it had to do with.
Yeah, that's what
knowledge.
The majority of these 12 to 15,000 people that we're talking about in Argentina. That a lot of those were like officers, their families, stuff like that.
It's a weird thing because it's like, how do you? Because I understand the idea that it's like, well, I wasn't killing Jews, but also I forgot to put that on silent. But also, like, like the Nazis, like, isn't that? It was pretty messed up. It's hard to believe that it's like, oh, I didn't know that we were the bad guys.
Well, the number of,
because at first it was just a very progressive, like, like Hitler's whole thing was just a very progressive, like Germany,
Yeah.
and then as it happened, people were like, wait,
Yeah.
we're doing
Well,
what?
some people say that Hitler was either funded by or was himself a Rothschild,
Okay.
which would make a lot of sense. I want to say that his grandmother was the like mistress of a Rothschild or something like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, this whole thing is just totally bonkers. Like, MK Ultra in some instances did work. They did get what they wanted, but a lot of what they were chasing with this stuff was, magic more or less. Whenever it comes down to it, like,
Yeah.
the way that technology just kind of like made people's imaginations go wild back then was just,
I mean, think
it's
about
crazy to think about.
Think about just 100 years ago how different like technology was.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Like even in the last 40 years, how
Yeah.
much?
Dude, the counters at Xfinity, all the counters at the Xfinity by my house, you set your phone on it, all of them are wireless chargers. All the counters.
Just the table.
Yeah. You just put your phone on it and it just starts charging my phone. And
That's
like,
dope.
yeah.
Can I get
It's crazy.
that in my kitchen counters?
I mean, you think about what would happen if so I've had this idea, okay, for a cartoon. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say what the idea is, but imagine you took the idea of what my cartoon is and brought a cell phone with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just thinking about, I don't know, it's just crazy how much, like, the Red Scare and all that stuff, a lot of that stuff did have legitimacy behind it, but you had all of America, like, their power lines would, like, go out in the 70s and 80s. It's like, the Russians.
Well, I mean, but also...
Commies, dude.
Maybe. Death is an
Commies.
acceptable alternative to communism.
Lord, dude.
I saw that TikTok earlier today.
Yeah.
The dude, just remember, kids, you can vote your way into communism, but you're going to have to shoot your way out.
Yeah. So
that crap. Oh, that crap was funny.
Let's go to 2 tabs over. So there's a Netflix documentary. Can't remember what it's called.
About this dude?
Yeah, can't remember what it's called.
This
but
guy.
John Demanjuk. So this guy had moved, or not moved, but he was in Chicago or something like that. Go ahead and click on him. But he was identified.
Like this?
Yeah, he was identified in the U.S. as by some Holocaust survivors as a Nazi prison guard called Ivan the Terrible.
Yeah,
so
this guy is
you know about this guy?
I know a little bit, yeah.
Ivan the Terrible is a nickname given to a notorious guard at the Treblinka extermination camp during the Holocaust. Identified as Ivan Marchenko in statements made by other guards, the moniker alluded to Ivan IV, also known as Ivan the Terrible, the infamous Tsar of Russia. Ivan the Terrible gained international recognition following the 1986 Demanjuk case. Already in 1944, a cruel guard named Ivan, sharing the distinct duties and extremely violent behavior with a guard named Nicholas, is mentioned in survivor literature. John Demanjuk was accused first of being Ivan the Terrible at the Treblinka concentration camp. He was found guilty of war crimes and was sentenced to death by hanging. The decision was later overruled by the Supreme Court of Israel. In 2011, Demanjuk was convicted of war crimes for having served at Sobibor extermination camp. That was a lot of freaking reading, dude. So, keep scrolling down.
Titties.
So, his true identity has not been conclusively discovered throughout the 1970s and 1980s. John Demanjuk, a retired suburban Cleveland auto worker of Ukrainian descent, was accused of being Ivan. He was tried in Israel in 1988 and sentenced to death, but the conviction was overturned due to lack of evidence. One remarkable event during the trial in Israel involved a star witness for the prosecution. Elihu Rosenberg asked the prosecution if he recognized Demanjuk. Rosenberg asked Demanjuk to remove his glasses so I could see his eyes. Rosenberg approached and peered closely in Demanjuk's face. When Demanjuk smiled and offered his hand, Rosenberg recoiled and shouted Grozny, meaning terrible in Russian. Ivan Rosenberg said, it is unhesitatingly, without the slightest shadow of a doubt, it is Ivan from Treblinka, from the gas chambers, the man I'm looking at now. I saw his eyes. I saw those murderous eyes. Rosenberg told the court, glaring at Demanjuk. Rosenberg then exclaimed directly to Demanjuk, how dare you put out your hand, murderer that you are. It was later revealed that Elihu Rosenberg had previously testified in a 1947 deposition that Ivan the Terrible had been killed during a prisoner uprising. So nobody really knows who this guy is, but this John Demanjuk dude, he was kind of had this label put on him and had to go through these trials and stuff for a long time, bro. Sentenced to death at one point.
Could you imagine getting sentenced to death and it not being like, you're a Nazi?
Dude, think about how people get called Nazi today, and like cancel culture type thing.
All that
bro,
bullcrap.
That's so minor to being compared to being accused of being a Jew slaughterer.
Dude.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Dude. Imagine this. Imagine the guy who watched his family get gassed and somehow he survives the war, and now he's got to put up with all this cancel culture stuff. It's like, oh, this guy's a Nazi. He said that he doesn't like the fact that I want to be a different,
this
gender.
guy ate a steak for dinner.
This guy won't use my pronouns. Nazi.
Yeah. Such a different thing, dude. Such a different thing. It's crazy, bro. It is crazy to think about. I've never thought about that actually, how like offensive that should be to an actual like person of Jewish descent that like either knows someone closely that
it's like I don't have my grandparents, or like I don't my like I don't have my like parts of my family because of Nazis, and it's like, yeah, but this guy, like, he called me so it's like I was in a GameStop and he called me sir. Oh my gosh, dude,
that thing. Yeah. Well, so yeah, I thought it would be cool to talk about this guy for a minute. Go to the next thing. Let's see if there's any other information.
Hold on, let me just, before we go, look at this dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but click.
But if he was
the next one is him though. Go to the next tab. The next one.
But if he was Russian,
hit images.
If he was Russian, then why was he doing a German extermination?
Dude, that's him, bro. Look at that. You're telling me that's not the same guy?
I don't know, man.
Dude, that looks so much like the same dude.
I mean, I don't know. Let's think about it this way. All right. How old is this guy?
I mean, he's dead now. Dude, they were bringing him into court and stuff, like on a freaking, like his last trial. They were bringing him to court on like in a hospital bed into court.
This right here.
No, he was in a hospital bed on one of them, dude. But yeah, see, with all the headphones on, they had to like translate all this crap the whole time to him. Look, there he is on the hospital bed right there. Look at that.
Dude, just let this man die, honestly. Whatever. Like, you sentenced him to death. Oh, he died a few weeks earlier than...
Dude, they sentenced him to death in Israel and then unsentenced him to death.
This guy, do you think this guy even cares anymore?
He's in this picture?
Yeah.
I think in this picture, this guy's fine.
I think he's
fine in that picture. Look at him, dude.
I think he's like, dude, look, y'all gonna kill me. Just do it. Now, is this the person? Is this the guy that recognized him?
I don't know.
The
I don't know who that
guy
guy was.
screamed. What a weird thing.
Yeah. Now in that picture, see the one to the left,
This?
up one.
This?
Yeah, that one he looks old. But in that last one that we had, he didn't look that old.
I
He
don't
looked
know,
fine.
dude. I mean, like, where did he go?
Here's my question, dude.
Where-
What did it look like back then
Where's the
to
freaking thing? Oh,
What-
this crap. I mean, I get that they look similar, but also we have all these pictures. It's like this person's a time traveler because there's a picture of them from like.
Yeah, but dude, that is such the same guy though. You're gonna tell me that's not the same guy?
I don't know, dude.
You tell me that if you didn't put the Snapchat filter on that guy on the left of like what you look like whenever you're older,
Let's just check real quick.
dude.
Let's do it.
You got that?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Let's do it.
Where is it? Where's the freaking thing, dude? The old
Bro,
person one.
what if it just makes it look exactly like him?
Where's the? Oh, hold on. I gotta like. There it is, dude. Freaking.
In my opinion, this is the same guy. Is it?
I'll let you tell me.
Is it the same pretty much?
I'll let you tell me.
So the same guy. All right, dude. That should be how we tell this crap from now on.
Somebody come get. You have Snapchat? All
Yeah.
right, come here.
So send me that screenshot so I can put that up. So yeah, same guy says Snapchat.
Hold
Look.
on. I'm gonna take one without the filter too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can find the picture without the filter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah. So look at that one down there, The Devil Next Door, the book,
Yeah.
whatever, where it's
It's a Netflix
where it's
documentary.
face off. Yeah. Man, that's just the same guy, dude.
My thing is like,
It doesn't
We're
matter.
gonna need more evidence then. My thing is like, I'm not about to kill an old man over he looks
Yeah.
like a bad dude.
Well,
You
that's
know,
how
like,
they used to do it back then. But this is the thing.
back in
Here's-
the 80s.
Yeah, here's my question, dude. How hard would it have been to? All right, let's go
How do
back.
you-
Go
how do
back.
you-
Go back to go back to regular, not images.
Dude, they had to have been looking for this guy.
What's his birth and death rate? Or not? Like, what's
Rate?
his birth and death?
What's his
date?
KD ratio?
What's his KD ratio?
Oh my gosh.
75,000 to 1. Okay, so born when? We got a birth. All right, born 1920 in Ukraine. So let's look up. I mean, could you have been let's say in 1937, a 17-year-old in Ukraine and have also avoided military service? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can we try and find that out?
So what's the like?
So was service required for World War II in Ukraine? So Ukraine collaboration with Nazi Germany took place during the military occupation of modern-day Ukraine by Nazi Germany in World War II. At that time, the new territorial divisions of Derskrit, and whatever's covering both the southeastern territory of Second Polish Republic and Ukraine Soviet Republic crossing collaboration, Ukraine political aspirations and regaining independence, resurgent nationalism, but also anger and resentment against the Soviet government and ethnic Russians. So they joined because of their relations with Russia. So by the time the Red Army returned to Ukraine, a significant number of population with its soldiers as liberators, more than 4.5 million Ukrainians joined the Red Army to fight Nazi Germany, and more than 250,000 served in Soviet partisan parliament units, dwarfing. Hang on a second. So These sentiments were coupled with the belief that these acts were orchestrated by other ethnic groups, such as Jews, Tartars, Roma people, and Poles, as well as prevailing notions of anti-Semitism and anti-Polonism. However, the absence of Ukrainian autonomy under the Nazis, mistreatment by the occupier, and deportation of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian slave laborers soon led to dramatic change. So it sounds like some were collaborators and then were no longer collaborators. So, but you still had 4.5 million.
I get what you're saying.
People fight against Germany, dude. What are the chances that you were in Ukraine during that time and didn't fight with the Germans?
No, I get it. The odds of it being him, it's like
very likely.
Almost definitely him. But also, I'm going to need more evidence than this guy looks like him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
not about to, like, if I was in the room, I'm not going to put an old man to death. Like, in my mind, getting this guy the death sentence, however many years later it is. I mean, how many years has it been by 88 since World War II ended? Like, by then, the risk of like ending just some dude's life for something he didn't do,
high.
Huh?
It's a high risk.
Yeah. And so it's like, to me, it's like, I don't know if it really balances out.
Yeah, but dude, you're the judge, all right? Yeah. We're gonna act this out. Okay.
Okay, hold on, wait. Before we do, I gotta go unlock the front door.
All right.
Give me just a second. Jimmy's here.
Right back. I'm just gonna stare at the camera and leave it here the whole time. Yeah, that's gonna be in there. Short break.
All right.
Dude, all right.
Action.
Okay, so I'm going to be, I'm the guy, all right? You got this Holocaust survivor guy. Actually, we're not doing this. Never mind. We're not doing this. Okay. Just imagine, though, that guy.
We're doing it.
That guy looks at you, and just, judge, it's him. Like, what are you going to do, dude?
That's what I do. My eyes get really big and I start sweating.
If you're the judge, what would you do? What would you say?
And then there's like, you can see the bead of sweat.
Stone him! Just in the middle of the thing.
And then I violently open my water bottle. And that's it. I just don't answer.
I'd be like,
we just sit there. And it's just awkward. And I'm just...
I'd be like, sir, what do you have to say for yourself?
You can just see the like stress.
Yeah.
I'll start doing this thing.
And what do you say whenever you're doing it? What do you say whenever you're doing it?
Take 5. Take 5. Everyone just calm down.
Skinny Rick's going outside to smoke a cigarette.
The room's completely silent, but I'm still just... Everyone calm down.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I wouldn't want to be the judge for that.
It'd be rough, dude.
There's a reason I don't practice law.
Yeah, me too, dude. So
like, obeying it.
Let's move on from this guy, and we're gonna talk about Werner von Braun, shortly, and then we'll close this thing out. Hey, this is perfect. This is on NASA.gov. Click this. So this is on NASA's website, biography of Werner von Braun. Dr. Werner von Braun, 1912 to 1977, was one of the most important rocket developers and champions of space exploration in the 20th century. As a youth, he became enamored with the possibilities of space exploration by reading the work of science fiction authors. Later, von Braun encountered the work of Hermann Oberth, whose 1923 book, The Rocket into Planetary Space, prompted von Braun to master calculus and trigonometry so he could understand the physics of rocketry. From his teenage years, von Braun held a keen interest in flight and involved in the German Society for Space Travel. So, let's see.
Bro.
Where does it say it at?
Imagine if he had gotten, like... Imagine what would have happened if the Nazis had, like, the Space Force before everyone else.
Okay, here we go.
Like, if they had just had a huge breakthrough, they were like, yo, now we can attack people from orbit.
Yeah,
like the Air Force.
Hey, this is what nobody thinks about. I've thought about this before, and it tripped me out. So Galileo invented the telescope.
Yeah.
There was a moment in time where Galileo was the only person on the planet that knew what we were on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
How crazy is that crap?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like, even if they just got up, they didn't even have to make, like, I think about it. If they just brought some rocks up there and started dropping them.
Yeah.
It's much more effective than whatever we had.
Dude, but I don't know, bro. I think about that crap all the time.
Imagine getting hit by a rock from space, dude, while you're just some guy with an M1 Grand.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Dude, I don't know, bro.
So they don't talk about him being a Nazi.
Yeah, they do. Hey, we're gonna go into it
in
a second. But seriously though, dude, how many people you think Galileo went to and was like, dude, I looked through, I made this thing, I looked through this thing, and
people did not believe it.
People are like, no, what, dude? Do you have the thing still? He's like, yeah. They're like, prove it. He's like, you can't see it during the daytime, and they're like, probably like, get out of my face.
You'll burn your eyes.
So here we go. So this is Nazi. The V2 ballistic missile, the whatever of U.S. and Soviet intercontinental ballistic missiles and space launch vehicles, was the primary brainchild of von Braun's rocket team. After 1937, they worked in a secret laboratory in Peenemünde on the Baltic coast. A liquid propellant missile 46 feet in length and weighing 27,000 pounds, the V2 flew at speeds in excess of 3,500 miles per hour and delivered a 220-pound warhead, 2,200-pound warhead.
We're there
to a target 200 miles away. First successfully launched in October 1942.
How do you aim that?
I don't know, dude. It was employed against targets in Western Europe beginning in September 1944. Here we go. The V2 assembly plant in Mittelwerk near the Mittelbau-Dora concentration camp used slave labor, as did a number of other production sites.
Yeah, didn't they use...
Von Braun was a member of the Nazi Party and an SS officer, yet was also arrested by the Gestapo in 1944 for careless remarks he made about the war and the rocket. His responsibility for the crimes connected to the rocket production itself is controversial. So supposedly there was like 2,000 people died in his employ, slaves trying to build.
Well, the slaves were all Jews, right? They were making Jews develop the parts, right?
I mean, it wasn't exclusively Jews. It was just slave labor.
Just whoever.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
What do you think that...
By late 1944, it was obvious to von Braun that Germany would be destroyed and occupied, and began planning the post-war era. Before the Allied capture of the V2 rocket complex, von Braun was sent south, eventually to Bavaria, and surrendered to the Americans there, along with other key team leaders. So you have this dude.
How many V2s were actually used in the war?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, the big thing, dude, is like, I don't think that many. You know, they couldn't have had very many.
Because they talk about it a lot, but I'm like, I don't remember there ever being any like...
Well, you know, the V2 rocket... the V2 rocket technically was you know, just like the propulsion mechanism and all that stuff. That's why like the first iterations of like our like space rockets were basically V2 rockets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Isn't it crazy, though, with Operation Paperclip that this guy gets to go over here, meet with JFK, and hang out.
And be then, like a hero?
Yeah, you've got this guy in Cleveland that's like...
just trying to like...
pooping his pants in court, you know, if it's not him. And probably also if it is him, because somebody like said that he was some guard at a concentration camp.
Dude.
SS officer. This is on the NASA website. .gov. So, yeah, man. I just wanted to...
Imagine being like, yeah, my great-grandfather was this guy.
Yeah.
Imagine that you're at school learning about the Nazis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my... Like a picture comes... Oh, that's my great-granddad.
Yeah, so maybe one day soon we'll do one on the history of Disney. And we can get into... Well, this isn't a joke. We can get into... you know, all of the things that, you know, surround Disney and Nazi Germany and connections to this guy and all that stuff. So, I don't know, dude. I just ran into that article this morning on the Argentina, all those names coming out with the Swiss bank accounts. And I just thought, why not do a little history lesson on Operation Paperclip? So, what do you think?
Nazis are weird, dude.
Yeah, it is weird.
I will say right now, if you're the person who uses if you're the person who uses Nazi not how it's supposed to be used,
yeah,
like why?
Yeah,
like just come up with something else. Just get a better name.
Well, it's used. You know, it's used as a conversation stopper. Like it's just like if you're looking somebody in the face in the middle of a conversation and you call them a racist. Dude. Like end of the conversation. You know what I mean? Like it's just a conversation stopper. And I think that a lot of people use terms like Nazi and you know, some people are racist. Some people do have, you know, Nazi like ideology, whether they realize it or not. But using those words as a means to stop push back against your opinion or your point of view just because you don't like what somebody else is saying.
Weak.
It's a bitch.
I'm not weak, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, get good.
Yeah.
Like, get good. Grow up. Freaking coin some new terms. Okay? Hey, we can come up with genders on the fly. Why not come up with some better names?
Yeah.
For
you're a Zamrith.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah. So,
because then see, that's even better. Because then they gotta ask, "What's that?" And then you explain it, and then they walk themselves right into it.
Yeah. So
it's like I'm definitely not one of those. Well,
yeah,
maybe you are.
So yeah, we got a couple episodes coming up that I'm excited about that I've planned. We want to do a Roger Stone one. We want to do the Disney one, and then we are going to be coming out with some more content soon that will be some extra episodes. We're going to try it. We'll do kind of like a little season of episodes on one specific topic that we already know what it is.
Yeah.
So we may or may not restructure days that the flagship podcast, which is this one, what day that comes out on, whenever we do shoot those, start that other series. But
that's correct.
We'll keep you notified, and please
share
like,
this.
Subscribe, share.
Seriously, dude.
Tell your boss. Tell
what you doing without sharing.
Yeah.
Look, dude.
We put a lot of work into this thing, and we know that nobody's really watching. But you know, our hope is that somebody will, and that consistency is going to be the key in this thing. But
dude, think about it. I mean, really, like, how much do you post on Facebook? Yeah. You know, just share it.
Yeah.
Just share it to Facebook.
And
just do it.
You know, like, even if you don't agree with what we're saying, there's no way that this isn't entertaining. You know what I'm saying? There's no way it's not. So subscribe, share, and follow us on social media. You can follow me on Twitter at TBAT Quinn, which I'm going to have to start using that thing, man. I don't use it pretty much at all.
Oh.
You can follow my other one for now if you want.
You know,
at Quinnology. And what you got, dude?
Dude, I hit 226 tweets today.
I know, dude. You're tweeting hard.
My Twitter is at TBATSKINERICK. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, in person maybe. If you get too close, I will hit you.
Yeah.
Possibly stab you,
Yeah.
depending on if I have my knife.
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure you keep like a healthy distance. Yeah.
And definitely don't follow me in person. I'll bludgeon you. If I have my mace with me.
Damage.
Yeah.
Hit him upside the head with a club or something.
Yeah. So that's it, dude. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all again next week.
Okay, bye. So you're gonna do